Exploring marriage traditions and cultural practices around the world is incredibly diverse and vary across different regions and community. On this episode of The Key Point, we have 3 guests that are going to help us discuss this topic, where we are going to talk about something beyond love, something beyond borders, something beyond generations, and something beyond even our own understanding. So you are welcome on the set for today, my lovely guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you are going to immerse yourself into this conversation. Let's batter things out.
Hopefully.
In defense of the lady, don't go too hard on her, but I know she'll be strong for this episode. So first, I have Mr. Hyacinthe Ketemepi, who is an apostle and a Bible school teacher. I know he's going to give us a religious perspective more. And then I have Mr. Frank Anele, who is a university lecturer. Thank you for coming. And the only queen among the men today, Mrs. Elvera Njoku, who is also a university lecturer. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Now, when we talk about marriage, we understand that coming from very different backgrounds, you may have different perspectives about marriage or how you view it. But I do also understand that in the same sense, whether you come from Ghana or Nigeria or Togo, marriage is still what it's supposed to be. So I'll start with Mr. Hyacinthe on this one. In your definition, briefly, how would you term marriage?
Thank you very much. Marriage is... if I should put it, I will put it on the biblical way.
Okay.
Marriage is union between two persons, a man and a woman.
Okay.
This is the basic definition I can give to it.
Okay. Any addition from you?
Yeah, I think it's basically what he said, the union between a man and a woman.
Maybe in Africa per se, because we know there are some evolution nowadays in terms of the union that we are referring to.
Yeah.
But that is not the area for today. So when it comes to celebrating traditional marriage, for example, there are some key elements that are things that underscore that you have actually doing the traditional marriage. So I will start with you on this one first. What are some of those key elements that maybe from your culture or your understanding I expected to be there?
First, when you find a lady, initially we said that people from the Igbo tribe, before, it has to be that when a man is due for marriage, the parents get him a lady. You understand? The parents will not tell him, please, we'll have a lady from this family who is good and ripe and well trained. But because things are changing, a man will now go for what he wants. But then when he finds one, he now goes to the parents and say, this is why I am here. I saw something very beautiful. And they'll say, okay, young man, we don't know you. When probably, he might decide to come with his kinsmen or decide to come by himself. But for him to come formally, he has to come with his kinsmen to come and tell the people, this is why I am here. This is what I want to do. So which is the normal introduction before the other steps comes in.
So as a lady, I'm not cutting you, I just want to see what she has to add.
Okay, basically, when we talk about elements in traditional marriage, first and foremost, we consider different aspects from my own point of view. Aspects like how the ceremony takes place. Aspects like the attire worn. Aspects like how the introduction is done. Just like he said, that's the first stage. The first stage is just let's get to know each other. Then the second stage, we have like an investigation done. So each family goes to find out more about the background. So there's more like a background check on the girl's side, and then background check on the guy's side. Then if they are contented with their findings, they come formally bearing gifts. They come formally bearing gifts, and then that same day where they come formally, it's now in the girl's, court to make the decision, like, okay, these people are here and this is why they are here. So is it a yes or is it a no? So if she says yes, there's jubilation, everyone is happy, because in Africa, marriage is not like a family, me and you, my brother and sister. Marriage is a community thing. So traditional marriage, everybody is involved.
Yeah.
The extended family, the kindreds,
The community.
Because they feel that, okay, this lady grew up around us, so everybody impacted something.
Yeah.
So we should be able to share in her joy. You understand? You know, so before formally you're handed over the list, you know. So we have about 5 stages.
We can't expand all of them.
Yes,
Mr. Yassine, what is your
I will also put it away. Traditional marriage is basically the fundamentals to show that a man is getting to responsibilities, and a woman at a stage where she can be also responsible. So getting to those points, there are some elements, because we can't talk about marriage without talking about family, without talking about community. So the traditional marriage goes first with the identity of the people who are getting in, and secondly with the community and the rules that have to do with each community. If I can put it this way, because every family goes with some rules and regulations. In some families, before you get married, it is the parents' right to go and choose a lady for you after investigation, as our lady says.
The investigation is very necessary.
Now things are changing. We are finding things for ourselves.
Yes.
But as an apostle, maybe in your church premises, do you also get situations where the man comes to you first, perhaps? Maybe the ladies in the church? And,
Sure. Sure. Actually, even before being an apostle, I am a father.
Okay, sure.
And there are so many people who come close to me, not like an apostle, but
as a father.
like a father. They are coming because they have seen something and they want my view, my counseling, and how to proceed before we get to that place. And now they can also come to see the apostle, because it is happening in the church. And I have to play the role of a father, getting into these practices, going to the parents, explaining the whole things, and making sure that the vision is achieved at the end of the day. So
okay, I think we've all established that the introduction is necessary before the other steps follow. And one of the other steps is the bride price, or the dowry, as some people will call it. Some people perceive it's a way that the parents are selling off the woman. Others agree, others disagree, but that is not the central point. So moving on now to the bride price, how do we approach it? You know, there's a list. There are some things that you may or may not take out. There are some people, when the list is given, that is the end, is final. So, Mr. Frank, I know either you have done already or you're about to. So, when the list comes, what are how do you manage to deal with the bride price?
There is one thing I know about the Igbo tradition in Nigeria. The bride price, they will give you a list comprising, well, for the dad, the mom, the kindred, the youths, the men, the women. Like she said, that they will come, that your community will share in your joy. Yeah. So in the sharing in your joy, those things that will be included in the list is for them. Sometimes we keep telling ourselves, these people most of them don't even know when they gave birth to you, why are they coming to come? But it's now a tradition. So when they set up those things, you provide what is in the list. Now, due to the kindness of the parents, knowing fully well that you're a very young man, they might decide to scrap out some certain things, especially that of the dad and that of the mom. So that's why it's as if the list sometimes could be flexible. Now, when that is done, the bride price, come on, whatever is in the list might probably cost 500,000, 700,000, 1.5 million, but the bride price might just be 200 naira.
Okay.
Or even 15 naira. Some will say
so there's
naira.
Money involved, but some of the other items might be much more expensive.
Yes, whatever is in the list is not the bride price. It's not the dowry itself.
Okay.
So whatever is in the list is just part of what you are bringing in order for this to happen. But the major dowry is just a token.
Okay.
That's why whenever you say you are done with the marriage, you are coming back, they are giving you the token back.
Oh, okay, okay. So, Mr. Yacent.
Yeah, let me put it, even right from the Bible, in the book of Genesis, chapter 34, it is written in the Bible, where they were asking, ask of me a dowry which is costly, so I may pay it and gain in return a young lady from your tribe. What means that basically the bride price is the value we are giving to the one we are taking into our family.
Exactly.
And as our lecturer says it is the component of so many things. In my area, they will even ask kente, which is the traditional clothes that we have for men. They will ask some clothes for women, and even in this, there are part of those that will belong to the lady
herself. Yes.
That will be her basics, belongings before she gets into the marriage. There are drinks for the family. There are money which is put in different segments for different people. There is even sometimes the ask of underwear and so many other things that will be put inside. And at the end of the day, if the marriage is having a problem, and when you come, the father or the representative of the family will just go maybe and bring out 1 or 2 drinks to say, this is what you have given for our daughter. So it is not the full thing which is given. There are some part which is used in the celebration, and some which are kept for the family.
The queen.
Okay, basically it's understanding what a dowry means. When we talk about dowry is a substantial, a tangible amount being paid by the groom for his bride, or the price the groom pays, to have his bride. Now, just like he said, it depends on the family. Because you might go to some families and after doing all the things like on the list, the father might come and say, my daughter went to Harvard and she studied law and we paid millions to train her. So do you think we should give it to you? We should give her to you for free? Or do you think, then at the end of the day he can say, okay, just pay 2 million. But some fathers might say, oh, our daughter is not for sale. So we're handing her over to you without money. So take care of her. She's priceless. So nothing no amount of money you pay can buy her.
Instead, they will tell you that the money you are supposed to pay as dowry, you should use it and take care of it for the rest of her life.
Do you understand? So basically, that is it.
So now we've spoken about introduction, the dowry, and all that. You spoke earlier on about how the celebration is not even the attire. We'll come to the attire aspect, but now talking about cultural beliefs and then the practices. I do understand that in some places, before or maybe during the introduction, the man and the kinsman or the family will have to come and give a gift to the woman's family. Some people too, they have to provide maybe a cattle, farmland, or there's some sort of agreement where the man is expected to, if it's a farming community, you're supposed to come and farm for the uncles or the aunties, for them to see that this is someone who can cultivate the land, so their daughter or whatever will not feel hungry. So maybe from your tribe or Nigeria, probably wherever you've stayed or you come from, what are some of those practices that are exhibited there?
Okay, I just remember something now. I don't know if it's the House of Fulani tribe where they said that if you're coming to marry a lady, they will have to flog you like 24 strokes of the cane and you won't touch it. Like you just have to, you must not cry. You just have to show them that you're a man. One of the major reasons for this practice is that if you can take it as a man, you can enjoy a woman. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
No, I
I know you have a problem here. That's to say you can enjoy a woman, that you have what it takes.
Yes, the heart.
Endure, the heart to endure as a
not
man.
necessarily enjoying a woman.
Oh, please calm down. I know that one's gonna strike a chord, but just relax. So and they're asking you to come and farm, or maybe asking you to provide some certain things. Like I think in marriage, in paying of the dowry, there are things they do also. They will not tell you this one is 500,000. You now say, is it not 200,000? They say you are not ready to get married. The whole of those things, they want to stretch you to know how you can easily endure these things. If you can endure what it takes to banter with a woman in the house and remain sane without, all those kind of things. So all of these things, they keep trying. They keep, doing all manner of things to you. So the major reason for this is just to make sure that you have what it takes to prepare yourself psychologically as a man to take control when the emotions of the
woman
rises.
I think let her respond to that aspect a bit. Defend your fellow women.
First and foremost, I disagree with the idea of the strokes of Cain's. I feel it's just to test the guy on how he's able to face challenges, not necessarily the banter of a woman, but the issue of when they start having kids and building family, like financial aspects, generally all aspects, not necessarily her banter, and then for the evils, the background check covers everything, knowing the capability of the groom in question, and knowing if he has something doing. Yes, knowing how strong financially he is, before we are going to hand over, our priceless drill to him. Basically that's it.
We have to understand that the care that a man has to present or generate in a family is not a mere responsibility. So the family which is giving the groom or not the bride must make sure this one is ready. So they have to go through so many aspects. It is now in this modern days that many things has reduced. In some cultures, you have to walk on kilometers, even if you are ready to take the lady as wife. You have to do so many things to prove. Even let me give this example in the Bible. When Leah and Rachel, their father was about to give them, she says, you have to work for me. You have to work for me for several years to prove to me that you are ready to take my daughter. So every culture comes with their practices. Every culture, every ethnic group come with something which is particular to them that shows. In some culture, you have to pay many years ahead. You come and announce yourself, and they will tell you you have to pay for 2 years before you are ready to come.
The Hausa people do that.
So there are so many things just to show that you are ready, patient enough, hardworking enough, ready to take care, and all these things to make sure that where you are going, they will not suffer in their family as their daughter is going. So
that bites. Okay, go ahead.
But the good thing is, after all these tests, at the end of the marital ceremony, there's always a soft landing. The parents gift, they call it in our language, the Igbo language, iduno.
Okay.
So this is where the parents sets up basically the girl, to make the beginning of her marital life a bit soft. Like they give her household appliances. If the parents are really capable, they give her a house. They give the newly wedded couple a house or a car. You know, in the Hausa tribe.
The Hausa people does that very well.
Yeah. So what they do is, the boy buys a house, but it's a responsibility of the in-laws to furnish
it.
the house.
Yes, they actually come with, the lady is coming to your house with a lot of goodies that you might even not go hungry for 1 year, depending on how the capacity of the parents.
Yes.
So it's
Okay, so coming back to Mr. Yacinthe on this one, we want to talk a bit about interfaith, people from different religious denominations, and also interethnic, because you spoke early on. And then we've all assembled that there's this stress or the test to see if the man is capable or not. When it comes to maybe churches or religion, for example, what are some of the experiences you've had with maybe somebody from your church, perhaps, married from a different church, or generally interfaith? How do you manage to help those people probably get to where they wish to get to in terms of marriage?
Okay, I have to say that the very first challenge of these things comes from a religious understanding or misunderstanding.
Okay.
We marry not a religion, but we marry a person.
Okay.
And being engaged with a person forces us to have responsibilities and things that we need to do to secure our relationship.
Okay.
But most of the time, as religion comes in, the do's and the don'ts are becoming the hindrance of this soft relationship, or bringing it to hardness, making things that are supposed to be easy to become complicated. Okay. So there is more of engagement that needs to be shown. There are so many sacrifices that are to be done. I would just put it simply. Somebody from Christian faith, both of them are from Christian faith. Yes. One is Catholic and another one is Pentecostal. There will be a battle in the house. The parents will say, this one is not praying the way we pray. So many religious
the doctrines,
doctrinal conflict that comes in. But you know, sometimes we say love will cover all these things, but I would rather say wisdom and patience covers all these things, because if you know that where you are going, those are the challenges, you prepare yourself wisely to face those challenges. It's the same as Christians, Muslim, Christian and idol worshippers, but still there are people who are in this relationship and making it.
Yes.
So it is.
I think it's based on what you said. It's the person you marry, not the religion.
The religion.
Although the religion is also part of the person's life and all that. So from your encounter, have you had any situation like that before?
Yeah, like there's this friend, right? She's Christian, you know, but she was engaged to someone that is a Muslim. So there was serious conflict. You know, the guy had proposed, she had accepted. Now, formal meeting. After the formal meeting, questions started arising. Will she hope she will convert, you know? And then she's like, I mustn't necessarily convert. You can go to your place of worship and I go to my place of worship.
But I think they are more concerned about when they have children, which religion would they go with?
Big question mark. So basically it's just your understanding. You know, there are some people that, you know, maybe when they start having kids, they allow the kids to decide for themselves. Like they don't make it an issue. You know, if the child feels I like going to church with mommy, then that's okay. Or if he feels, I think I prefer going to church with dad, mosque with daddy, then it's okay. So I think they come to this compromise that we're not going to enforce the religion on each other, and we're not going to enforce it on our kids. We'll allow them take that decision on their own, if they want religion A or if they want religion B. Basically.
Anything to add?
At least my president.
Let's touch on the interethnic. Because I think it goes beyond even the religion aspect.
Yes, it goes beyond the religion aspect. But we Nigerians, I think there are 3 ethnic groups in Nigeria: the Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba.
The major ones.
The major three, yes.
Yeah.
The
You
three
don't want to
key,
offend
the three
anyone.
major.
Yeah.
Every other tribes are
Included
included
a
into
bit,
these
yeah.
three. Now, the Igbos and the Yorubas marry a lot.
Among
They
themselves.
don't have problem with that.
Yeah.
The only problem they have is the Hausa people. But okay, well, let me not twist it towards that direction. But we tend not to all go well with them. We can't cope.
Coexist.
You understand? This thing it doesn't work. So when unless maybe probably these people grew up in the Western country and they've grown above tribalism and religious whatsoever, they can actually where they found themselves on a playing ground. But coming to Nigeria, or I know that the other tribes, but the major problem we are having is tribalism. These people that are from here, and I wouldn't blame them much.
I mean, there's a history probably behind it.
We have what should I call it? There's this prejudice in Nigeria. If you tell your sister, my boyfriend happens to be an Hausa man, you say, are you ready to go to the mosque? Does he have a kettle? You know, that kind of a thing. And if they should hear that your husband is an Igbo man, that one will use you for ritual.
Yeah.
That's number one. If they should hear that he's an Igbo woman, they will say, do you have money? That one will finish your money and run away. You know, they already have this discrimination among them. They just don't want to hear it. They just want to think it. But apart from that tribe, every other tribe can actually coexist with any other person.
That it's not only in Nigeria. It's
common.
also here.
It's common everywhere.
Those are the limitations that tribalism and misunderstanding of coexistence brings in.
Yes.
Because no matter what we say, there are still people from one tribe who is married to
Another tribe.
somebody from another tribe, and they are doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are people that would rather die than to marry from that particular tribe.
That's sure.
Now let's come to the D-Day itself. I mean, whether it's traditional or the white wedding or whichever, just the marriage in general. There are some specific, if not to say diverse, acts that people do on that day where in some traditions or in some countries, after they do everything, there's a broom that they have to jump the broom to finally symbolize that they are married. So from your, research or perspective about other ethnic groups or regions, I will probably start with you. What are some of those unique acts that people do when they are doing that celebration?
Okay, for we the Igbos, I think it's the wine carry.
The wine carry.
Yes. So basically during the ceremony, the father of the bride hands her over a cup or a gourd of palm wine.
Okay.
And when she's handed that cup, she's supposed to go and find or seek the groom in the crowd.
Okay.
When she finds that her groom rather, she kneels in front of him, takes a sip of the palm wine, and then hands him over the cup of wine.
Okay.
Then he's supposed to finish it and then puts a sum of money to fill the cup. And
That's
then he lifts her up, and then everybody starts cheering. So that is the highlight of.
And they will have to return back to the parent of the bride, and the parent of the bride will now bless
them officially.
Officially, that's when they will tell you that these people are married.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then after the whole ceremony, like for us, the eldest man in the family doesn't brush his mouth. Yes. So he doesn't brush his mouth. He doesn't talk to anybody for the entire day. So at the end of the ceremony, they bring him out to come and give the final blessings. You know, so he blesses you. He drinks water in his mouth and then he spits it out.
My goodness.
And you mustn't flinch. You're taking in the entire blessing.
That's gross.
Because they want you to go into your home, your new home, peaceful, fulfilled, with prosperity, longevity, so everybody has that, great intention for you as newlyweds.
There's no negotiation on that?
Oh no, there's none rather. So yeah.
Okay, Mr. Yasin.
Taking it right from my tribal side. You can't talk about traditional marriage without talking about the aunties of the lady. There is no appearance of the father. It is only the women who represent the sisters of the lady's father.
Okay.
The ladies, the sisters of the lady's father who are basically present, because they are those who are accepting whatever you are bringing in, because they assume that at the absence of their brother, they become the fathers of this lady, and they know her much more than and it is when they do everything that they want to do before they can give you the lady. And even in this ceremony, the man is not allowed to come until they finish everything. He comes just to be presented so they can know that this is the man who is. So in our culture, it is ladies matter.
It's maternal, matrilineal.
Yes, it will just come to show up and they know this is the one who is taking our daughter. That's all.
Wow, so the man is just a ceremony officer.
I mean, even in some countries, off topic, the president is just a figure. It's the prime minister who handles everything. So I suppose it plays into
Anyway,
this.
what I want to add is, according to our tradition, where the lady will kneel.
Are you both Igbos?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But from different parts?
I think I'm from Imo State.
Okay. Yeah.
The same state?
The same
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the Imo State people look cute and
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Always presentable.
yes, let's present it. So, if you should notice one thing about traditional is that the lady will go on her knees, submitting to the authority of the man.
Yeah.
Emphasize.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. He's submitting to the authority of the man. Well, you see what we are seeing from the Western world. Yeah, if the man wants to get married, we'll go on his I think Pete Edochie was emphasizing on this particular art where men will go on their knees, that it's wrong. So this Gen Z generation started attacking the old man on social media. That's wrong. But if they understand what it actually means, it means that you are submitting entirely to the woman. That's why if you watch the Western world, it's as if the women there
have more power.
I have one question for you.
Okay,
go ahead.
So in some situations, right?
Okay.
When the lady is about to kneel, the husband holds her and rather places her on his lap.
Okay.
So in this situation, would you say that the lady is not submissive?
You remember, you say the man holds her, which means it was the man's decision,
Not to make her
not the
submissive.
lady.
Yes.
It was the man's decision.
Was it his decision not to make her submissive?
See, that is
okay,
not
I think
submissive.
yes,
Now,
I get
see,
her point.
we said that thing shows that you are submitting to the authority of the man.
But
The man can choose to tell you, oh, please sit down. It's just like you are going to greet an elder. You say, oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
You can enter somewhere and say, you say, oh, don't worry, just sit down. Does it mean that you're not paying?
I mean, it is acknowledged, just that you are not let
He already knows that this is his office. You are not taking it away from him.
Okay. Now let's come to the traditional attire. It's something I want to talk about because I've heard situations where some people who probably wouldn't want to do the white wedding invest a lot into the traditional one. Hence, there are some kind of attire that you have to do, whether you've not stayed in your village or in your hometown for long. So the question very much is, how do our attires reflect our identity and the values we have? I think I'll start with the lady on this one because their own are very expensive.
I'm telling you.
Okay, so when you come to the attire, traditional attire, it plays a very vital role because it helps us, it differentiates us from other tribes. For example, if I dress in my traditional attire, he dresses in his own traditional attire, and you dress in your own, he can easily identify where we're from.
Exactly.
You get it? So it plays a very vital role. And number two, it helps us, celebrate our heritage, the African heritage. You know, it helps celebrate African heritage, and you know, it holds our different traditional attire holds very unique significance. Sorry. So basically, it's very, 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 very important.
Does it have anything spiritual?
Oh no, it doesn't necessarily have.
I think the apostle will tell us if he has.
It doesn't necessarily. Well, anyway, there's culturally, culturally, we have material, non-material culture, and there's what we consider as culture shock. The food you eat that day has to be of that
culture,
of that culture. So you can't come there and we are serving you amala and ewedu. It's never possible. So the attire will show forth where you are coming from.
Exactly.
This is you.
Exactly.
So like there's what we call the Ishiago.
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is actually.
There's this cloth the Igbo men wear that has lion's head.
Okay.
You know, that is always black.
Yeah.
So probably the red cap chiefs will put on their red cap and the bead comes in and all that, showing that this is now from your own dressing. We should know that this is actually the woman we are about to take, and this is. And there are some part of maybe you are. Since I'm from Imo State, somebody coming from Enugu State, if he is actually coming to take this girl away from Imo State, he will be dressing in accordance to his particular culture, the native of a particular village is coming from, in order to show that this is where I'm coming from. This is who we are. You understand? So maybe after taking the woman will start dressing in his own culture.
Well, funny enough, things are evolving.
Yeah, people don't really care about that much.
When just like we have the marriage,
interfaith and interethnic, yes.
So you see, when a Yoruba guy is getting married to an Igbo girl, you come to the ceremony and you see the guy dressed as
an Igbo guy.
You understand? So things
just to appease the in-laws, maybe. Just nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the real deal here.
Yeah. So that's basically it.
So, Mr. Yasin,
everything that we do is in respect of our culture, our identity, showing where, you know, it is marriage is not something that we copy from somewhere coming to apply it somewhere else. It is they are dots of a chain. We are just following, even if today things are lightly changing, we are coming from somewhere. That's one of the reasons you can't choose what you want to give as a diary into a family. They rather have to tell you this is what it is. Everything that we do in these things are symbolic. When you are coming, what are you wearing? You will not be from away. You will not be an away people coming to your marriage ceremony wearing a traditional ceremony wearing a suit.
What if the suit is, with African fabric?
You lost your identity.
It's possible. If you say African fabric, then it has to reflect the fabric has to reflect your own culture and color.
That's one of the reasons everything that they put shows exactly where you are from and how things are done in your
so religiously, so is there any particular attire that maybe churches or maybe, I don't know, mosques or traditionally they expect the couples to wear?
Actually, even as a church, we respect what the family puts in. That's one of I was in a traditional marriage, and I saw some other pastors who came and they were making noise. I approached one of them. I told him, this is senseless, because what you are doing here, it is much more familiar than we are coming to back, but you can't force anything.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, there was a quarrel. There was a quarrel because the church was or the pastors were just like taking everything in charge. And one of the family members says, you are not in your church here. We do things according to how things are done in our family. So we don't force. We can at a way counsel on how they can put it. We don't force. We most at times go closer to the family, ask them how will it be, or we ask the lady, how do you put it in your hand, and based on this counseling, we do it.
Okay, I mean, that still brings me to my very last question, though. The blending of the modern day way of celebrating marriage and in a traditional way. Are there certain things that we find in common, or what are some of the issues we probably may have around mixing both of them? For example, in some places, there's no music pen drive put in a computer play. You have to hit drums,
live band.
and it's compulsory.
Yeah.
Other places too, like you said about the food, there's nothing like rice. You have to eat what is from there. So it's also a chance for people to probably display the variety of things you have. Maybe you yourself, you might be shocked that you have actually these kinds of food in your place. So maybe from your perspective, the blending of it, how does it really work?
Well, change is something that is constant and is inevitable. Whatever we consider to be tradition or culture started someday. And before you know, it becomes a way of life. So as people keep growing, they keep bringing in stuff, and keep taking and believing that probably this one is more stressful, and it's giving us, and things keep reforming and reforming and revolving. Before you know, in as much as it doesn't change the fact that whatsoever that is to be done, what we consider to be primal. You understand what I'm saying? In as much as the dowry, everything, those other things doesn't really necessarily count. Now, if you want to check it, the pen drive music they play with, they will also play music that will always tell you that they are from here.
It's true.
So you can't come to a traditional wedding and you're hearing maybe Davido singing, American song. It has to be, even if they want to play every other song, it has to be after the occasion is done. People that wants to make merry with any kind of music can, but in as much as that, the context of this thing is concerned, so it doesn't change anything. Because I see that they are both, it's just part of change.
I'm coming to you on this one because I have gotten an understanding from someone that, especially when it comes to the religious one, the pastors or the officiating pastors want the ceremony to be done in the church, and it's like a no deal for some people.
No, not necessarily, because I've celebrated so many of these ceremonies not in the church. All have to do with our maturity. There are some ceremonies that I've done outside the country. The family and everybody is outside. Will you bring them back to do so all is about the maturity you have, and like an elderly person told me, who has traveled a lot knows a lot.
Yes.
So sometimes you just have to go out to see how people do it from elsewhere. And when you go to India, they have principles in their marriages, but when they come outside, they just do it simply. The main vision about everything that we will do, whatever we invest in, is the marriage to be settled. So when you get to that point, whatever complication we put will not be needed.
Actually, the argument made by the person was that with the traditional one, you go to the lady's home or the father's home. So religiously, the ladies from a church community, so they're expecting you to come and take her from their church to your church.
Those are
okay. I think I had issues with that when I was telling somebody that we were arguing that whoever did the traditional wedding or whatsoever is not yet married until the person comes to church. I was like, hello, that's not possible. This is our culture. See, let me tell you, if you think it is possible, go to church and wed without doing the traditional. Let's see if it will work.
If I should put point on whatever you are doing, the traditional, even when you go to the mayor office, they will ask you certificate from the family. When you come to church, we will ask you a certificate from the mayor office and from the family to attest. That's why we bring in the families. We will ask the parents, has he done the things the way it's supposed to be done?
The white wedding, in fact, there is no white wedding in the Bible.
No, but lawfully, the white wedding is acceptable. Like because there are some things you want to do. For example, if you're doing your papers to travel overseas.
You don't even need the white wedding. You need the court wedding.
Yes.
Exactly.
Not the
But I think
church
people
wedding.
join both of them. That is why it becomes like a one thing.
Because there are churches that are legally, that the marriage certificate is legally recognized, like the Catholic and the Anglican.
Okay.
Apart from that, I don't know if Assemblies of God. These people.
We are also making. We those who are legally registered. Our certificates are accepted. Actually, we have three in the Togo law. We have three types of marriage: the family, the mayor office, and the religious one. I don't know how it is in Nigeria, but
that's it. That's the traditional, the court wedding, and the white wedding, which is the.
So it is becoming legislated today.
But we are saying that whosoever that is not married in church does not mean that the person is not married. Like, I think there are churches that they will before the white wedding, they will conduct a test on the guy, on the lady. If she's pregnant, they will say the wedding will not hold. That you've defiled the bed, so they don't recognize you as.
I strongly believe that if the fundamental teachings are made, either the bride or the groom, they know that they need to go into the marriage with a mindset, making sure what they are starting is started well.
If they have done what they are supposed to do traditionally, so they are entitled to themselves.
Even after
that is from the traditional perspective, though.
They will
But
ask you not to visit each other. Even after you've done the traditional marriage.
That's the church people will tell you don't visit.
Well, please, let me take your last submission, the blending, and then your last words for our viewers.
Okay, so for the blending, for me, I would talk about the attire. Okay. Right? Back in the days, things were just so simple.
You were not in the days, you know that.
Okay. Yeah, well, we've read history and then we've watched, movies, So it was so simple. When it comes to the attire, the woman just ties the George around her waist and then wears a blouse. Then for the Yorubas, your ashoke, you wear your iro and your buba, just basically tying the wrapper. But now we're infusing, the Western,
the corsets,
the
corset
beads, and the beads, and so this is my own take on it from the attire aspect. So in conclusion, I would say basically traditional marriage is a necessity. It's very important. And then the dowry, before we go into these aspects as a guy or from the guy aspect, let's do our assignments by doing our research on how things are and how things are supposed to be, so that we don't allow, because when it comes to the traditional marriages, I would say our parents and our relations are overpowering. They'll push you into things you don't understand. So before you go or before you take that step, do your research. You understand what you're going into, so that you don't do things that you're not supposed to do, or you don't involve yourself in things that would backfire at the end. Thank you.
Mr. Essence?
Marriage is a necessity for he who wants to get into it. And as I said it before, it is the point that shows your responsibilities. What means that the one you are married to is also very, very important as the marriage you are making. And whatever you need to know before you get into it, you have to know. And coming to traditional marriage, they are just helping you into what you want to do. But make sure that you know the vision you have for the marriage, and the one you are bringing into the marriage is very important. So whatever you are doing is about you and where you want to go to. Thank you.
Mr. Frank?
Oh yeah, I see a lot of young men saying that marriage is a scam, and and they don't understand why they should pay heavily for a woman. So I want to use this opportunity to tell them that as far as marriage is concerned, in the beginning, we said that men are not being trained to become a husband. They train the women to be caregivers, to be wives, to be mothers.
Yeah.
So they send the guy away to go and make money. When you come back, they will give you a woman that is well bred, that is capable of taking care of you.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is do what? To appreciate this good thing, because you are like an animal. Yes, I don't even know if you understand that. That's why it's as if you want to go out in the morning, you see your wife will dress you well. You see some men, once they just get married, they start growing fat, and you start seeing them that they are eating very well, because they actually do not know these things. So these women, they took time to breed them very, very well, groom them to become this thing. So whether you like it or not, it's something you cannot give yourself. So it must cost you something. So that is the essence of paying this thing.
Wisdom.
So for each and every one of them out there that is here to and that is thinking that it's a scam, it's not. So you just have to do what? To tell yourself that you need a better, well-groomed person to help you navigate your life.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Why wouldn't you
On
agree?
this one,
That's amazing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yacine Ketemepi, who is an apostle and Bible school teacher, Miss Elvera Njoku, a university lecturer, and Mr. Frank Anele, also a university lecturer. We could have gone more on this conversation, but we are constrained with time. So thank you very much for joining us on KEYPOINT for this episode this week. You can follow us every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. the same time on Sundays. And on Facebook is the KEYPOINT with double I. On YouTube is the KEYPOINT playlist on New World TV. See you next week. It's a bye.